Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. And now it's time to make some guesses about how the Seahawks runners will do in 2023. And by runners, I mean, of course, running backs, but I also mean anybody who is going to carry the football at some point this season on a running play. So, wide receivers, maybe tight ends, quarterbacks, punters, anybody who runs with the ball. And pretty simple. I have them listed here. They're hidden for the moment. We're going to make it a surprise. We've got attempts, we've got yards, and we've got touchdowns. And we'll see where we end up landing. I'm going to make my predictions here. I don't think that there's a tremendous air of mystery here. I I know that some people are theorizing that Charbonnet may end up being our starting running back this year because he's got power, whereas K9 has speed. But I I don't see any reason to do that. K9 has a year of experience under his belt. He played really well last year. Let Charbonnet ease himself into the NFL life and come off the bench as a breather back. And look, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who starts. It doesn't really matter who plays when so much as it matters who is getting the most action. Like Charbonnet could play the first two snaps of a game and then sit down for the rest of the game, and Walker came in for the whole rest of the other game and got like 30 touches, or the whole rest of that game and got like 30 touches. Charbonnet got the start, but who cares? But regardless, I do believe that K9 will start and get the bulk of the carries throughout the season and be the lead back. So just go ahead and remove the mystery there. Ken Walker III will be our lead running back. Here are the numbers that I'm imagining for him. Um, Attempts. I am really hoping that we're able to keep the attempts to a manageable level. I have 270. So if you throw in 270 with a normal number of catches for a lead running back, I said something around like 30, 31, 32. That gets you to about 300 touches. Reasonable number. And if you're going to have a running back stable this deep and invest this much into it, like you did with Charbonnet and to a certain extent with McIntosh and maybe even a little bit of DJ Dallas, you should be able to make sure nobody's getting overused. Now, there are going to probably be games where Walker or Charbonnet are hurt and either can't play at all or can't play very much. That's obviously accounted for as well. That's one way they actually kind of get rest. But we should be pretty well equipped to handle that. So I say 270 rushing attempts for Walker. As for yards, almost 1,300. Should be improving on what he did last year. Remember, last year Ken Walker ran a lot of A gap runs. A lot of A gap runs from Ken Walker behind Austin Blythe and Gabe Jackson and Phil Haynes. And it went terribly. Most of those runs didn't go anywhere. So this year, he's got an extra year of experience. He should be better just because of that. But he should have a better offensive line in front of him as well. He's got two second-year players on the at the tackle spots. Those guys should improve noticeably. He's got an upgrade at center. I don't know if it's a big upgrade, but it's definitely an upgrade. Austin Blythe was legitimately maybe the worst center in the league last year. And Gabe and I mean, we didn't upgrade over right guard, but I don't believe we took a step back, mostly because it's really hard to take a step back from the pretty awful rotation of Gabe Jackson and Phil Haynes. But it didn't get worse. I don't see how it got worse. Even if Bradford plays this year, it probably won't get worse. So you put that all together, and the results should be better in theory. I said it before, I'll say it again. I have high expectations for this offense, and that's definitely going to be present here. As for touchdowns for Ken Walker, I have nine. Again, touchdowns kind of. It's obviously the yards are more interesting when you're talking about something like this, right? The yards are a little more compelling because at the end of the day, you don't know how you're going to score once you get down inside the 5 yard line. Sometimes you just pound it in from the one. Maybe Charbonnet vultures some touchdowns. So I'm not expecting a huge touchdown result from K9, but 9 sounds about right to me. And that's K9 in my estimation. Now let's move on to our second guy here. Going to be Zach Charbonnet. and he is going to be our second back. I think pretty much everybody expects this. I don't think I'm blowing anybody away here. So let's talk numbers. Attempts. Let's take a look here. I say 76. I think he gets eased in nice and slow. I think we use him as a third down back a pretty good amount, meaning that he won't get carries on those plays because you're throwing the ball on third down. I think that he'll see a decent chunk of his production through the passing game. And I think Charbonnet is going to be a guy who's doing more blocking stuff and more, not route running stuff, but acting as kind of like a safety valve for the quarterback and a hot read maybe, than he is just running with the ball. But I still say 76 attempts. He might become a little bit of a goal line back as well because he's got more power than K9. Yards, I said a nice, simple 345. Nothing over the top crazy, but effective, solid, worth keeping around. And then just 4 touchdowns, sure. This number could go up if he becomes like a goal line back, but I'm not 100% convinced on that. I think Charbonnet runs with a good amount of power, but I don't think he's yet a great short yardage back. So I need to see that before I really believe it. But pretty decent rookie season from Charbonnet. Nothing crazy, but playing behind K9 as the clear second string back, I think that's probably pretty fair. Okay, next up, we have the signal caller, Geno Smith. He ran the ball pretty effectively last year, made some plays with his legs, and that is part of his game, so I think he will continue to do that this year. So, best guess on his number of rushing attempts is going to be 61. Pretty close to what he had last year. And I'm also going to say 351 yards, which is in the ballpark of what he did last year. This is just kind of the, I guess you could kind of call it a pretty safe guess for a quarterback with mobility who prefers to stay in the pocket, which is basically what Geno Smith is. So just over the course of the season, he'll have some QB sneaks. He'll have some scrambles where he evades pressure. He'll have some plays where nobody gets open and he just takes off and picks up a few yards. And he'll probably have a handful of plays where he picks up big yardage with his legs because he's not accounted for. And I gave him 1 touchdown. At some point this season, he gets it in for a touchdown. Don't know when, don't know how, but I'm going to say he gets 1. All right, next up, we've got DJ Dallas. I think that he is going to get a little bit of burn as a running back because of at some point somebody's going to get dinged up and you're going to want to put DJ out there just to give people a blow. Maybe he'll even play pretty expansively over the course of a game because somebody's actually seriously hurt. So I think we haven't seen the last of DJ Dallas as a running back for the Seahawks, even though he'll mostly play on special teams. Number of attempts, I'm going to take a guess here and say 23. Not a huge amount, nothing that indicates that somebody broke their leg in like the 3rd game of the year or anything like that, but enough to make some kind of impact in this offense. And the yardage, I said 129. So efficient, but not big numbers, just kind of normal stuff. And I also say 1 touchdown for DJ Dallas. Got to get him in the end zone 1 time here. And I do think he's going to carry the ball a little bit this year because I think his role as like the pass catching back has been supplanted a little bit by this next guy in Kenny McIntosh. I think he'll be next up in terms of who's getting the ball the most. I don't think Kenny McIntosh is going to get the ball on running plays a lot. It's not his game, and I don't think he's going to play that much this year. I think for the most part he will be kind of brought along slowly, and then next year when Dallas is gone, then we go. But he'll play a little bit this year. I gave him 9 carries with the ball and 38 yards. Just kind of a courtesy handful of carries just so we can get a feel for it. No touchdowns, just routine stuff for a 7th-round rookie that you're trying to slowly bring along. I think you're going to see a little bit of jet sweep action from Dwayne Eskridge as well. I know I said earlier that I think he's going to get released, but I don't really think that anymore. When I see the way the team is trying to like hype him up a little bit and people are starting to talk good about him in camp, like, oh, he looks totally different. Oh, he looks so much better than he used to. Da-da-da-da-da. It seems like they're basically greasing the wheels to bring Eskridge back for 1 more year to see what's up. And if we're going to bring him back, he's probably going to get the ball a little bit. So I said 2 carries, jet sweep stuff, 13 yards. You know he's going to get hurt. You know he's going to miss games. You know that there are going to be games where he plays but never does anything. So 2 carries seems reasonable to me. We seem like we're afraid to give him the ball for the most part after the injury he had as a rookie. But I say this year we give it to him a couple times. Next up, we've got Derek Young, another guy who I think gets some jet sweeps as a receiver. I'm going to say 1 attempt for him, and he picks up 9 yards on it. Nice, efficient, clean. Hooray for Derek Young, no touchdowns. And then we got one guy left here. Oh, excuse me. We have no guys left here. This is the total. So taking a look at our grand total for our running game here, 442 attempts. I do think we're going to run the ball a little bit more than we did last year because we'll actually have running backs available. We'll have a little bit more yardage as well this year, 2,181 yards, which is like 100 more than we had last year. So, to me, when you look at the injuries we had to deal with last year at the running back position, the games we lost from Penny and Walker, and even guys like Homer, and by the way, Homer didn't have a very good year, and even DJ got hurt at one point. It should be a little bit better this year, and I think we're going to run the ball a little bit more because our defense won't be completely awful. It might still be bad, but it should be better. So put it all together. I think we'll run the ball a little bit better. And you put it all together in terms of touchdowns, I have 15. Again, that's something that could easily fluctuate just kind of almost by random chance. But I like our running back room. I like our running back stable. I think they're going to be very productive this year. I think we're going to get good things out of most of them. I think they're pretty much going to live up to their billing. And this is the way I see it breaking out. K9 has like a breakout season as a Pro Bowl level back. I don't think he's going to be like best running back in the league territory quite yet, but he'll start making a move. He's going to be a really, really good and very, very useful part of this offense. So, all that being said, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your predictions are. I will see you guys later. Go Hawks.